Hello one and all, and welcome to YouTuber Review, a show where we go through some of the biggest names in YouTube and analyze them for their quality of content, the current status of their channels, and the personalities they put behind it, while at the same time giving them a minor helping of criticism, but only as long as you spell minor like this. On our last episode, the Mighty Wheel selection chose none other than... Wait 1 sec. Soap operas, maybe? How do I classify McJuggerNuggets? Anyways, the wheel chose McJuggerNuggets. Yeah. To be completely honest, I had absolutely no idea how I wanted to approach this review, because I knew if I said anything negative about the god of McJuggerNuggets, I was immediately going to be wrong. Because this person is so complicated, it was basically staring down the barrel of a gun when I was looking at all of his stuff and trying to create research on him. Because at first glance, when you're looking at his videos, it kind of seems like extremely amateur vlogging. But really everything just in the end seems planned out to a larger narrative that he's trying to convey. And at the end of the day, we are talking about a person that successfully, for years on YouTube, had people battling if their videos were real or if they were faked. And I don't care what you say, but that takes major talent to do, and props to Jesse on him doing that. And in case you don't know exactly what I'm talking about here, we're talking about the Psycho series. A series of videos that lasted for years on his channel, separated by these types of videos, the Psycho videos themselves, and then vlogs interlinking them. But more on those later, as that is a huge talking point when you're talking about McJuggerNuggets. However, all the series that happened after the Psycho series, well, those are a different story, and we'll get to those in just a bit. But anyways, guys, I don't want to cover him too much here. I mean, this is the introduction after all, so let's just get right into it. The legendary channel known as McJuggerNuggets, according to his About page, joined the wonderful website known as YouTube on December 9th, 2006, and holy shit, that's a long time ago. Honestly, YouTube's only been around since 2005. This is one of the original channels, holy shit. Seriously though, this channel is nearing its 10-year anniversary. That's gonna be interesting to see what he does for that. And then as far as his description goes, it just says, "Welcome to Rigid Studio, you badass juggies." And then of course his upload schedule, what his channel's about, and then the phrase, "keep it rigid." And alright, in case you're not familiar with McJuggerNuggets' channel, you may be confused with some of that terminology, so let me just break it down for you. So a juggy is what McJuggerNuggets calls his fans. And then as far as keeping it rigid goes, well, that's just basically a catchphrase that he says to his fans, and is also a callback to his brand, Rigid Studios. And then even the word rigid itself comes back to his name, Jesse Ridgway. Not really that big of a deal, but it's a fun little connection. But going back to his channel, which for some reason has an entire recreation with his family and friends of the Last Supper as its banner. But whatever, insert God complex joke here. But we can also see over the 10 years on this website, he has gained himself a massive following. I mean, look at that number. That's a lot of juggalos! But as far as other involvements go, the only one that he actively participates in would be his Rigid Gaming channel, which basically is just him playing video games. It's a gaming channel, what else do you want me to say? But he also endorses his family's YouTube channels, such as Big Brother, which is his brother's YouTube channel, it's pretty self-explanatory, and Larry's Lounge, which is basically his uncle's YouTube channel. And then he also endorses his girlfriend's YouTube channel by the name of Juliet Riley, pretty good singer, go check her out. And all of these people can be seen in his vlogs, of which he does upload daily, and I'm sure just by looking at them right here and the length of them, he gets quite a bit of footage. Seriously, a lot of them are over 20 minutes in length. And if you're expecting heavy editing, you're not going to see it here. Because on his newest video, and I've already cut this down in half, but this was a full 5.5 minute section with 0 cuts. And the sad part is, a lot of it could be easily cut out. But no, it seems like as soon as the camera's on, that's it. It's just going. To cut out any bit of the dialogue, even if it's just them talking in circles, well, it needs to stay in there. It's perfect. Really, it seems in the videos, the only time that it cuts is when the camera's just turned off. But, well, this may not be my cup of tea personally for this type of vlog. Well, it seems a lot of other people do like it quite a bit, so, I mean, don't get too mad. I just don't prefer this type of vlog. It just seems kind of pointless and a lot of it could be removed. But going back to the very beginning of his channel, he seemed to start posting the same exact month that his channel was created. And as you can see, the content, it was quite different. I mean, look, it's Halo. But let's take a look back at where his channel all started with Cops, The Untold Story. Now, before you go raging in the comments, I can hear you saying it right now. Why the fuck is the quality so bad? You know, I thought that my internet was just being shit, so while I was recording, I pulled up the quality and, well, 240p was the best there was. And look, I do understand this was 9 years ago, but when you're opening up a video with this quality and, well, this intro in particular, you know you're in for a quality experience. For the record, that last statement was made while physically cringing. I'm pretty positive that this shows from the very beginning of his channel that, well, Jesse wasn't the biggest editor. All he really did was take some shitty Halo gameplay, overlay a heavily copyrighted piece of music, and then use stock text and transitions. And I'm sorry to report that even less of an effort was put into his later gaming videos. Just take a look at this Dead Rising clip. And he continues to moan like this and breathe heavily into the mic for the entire fucking video. That being said, the entire gaming era of McJuggerNuggets channel gets a resounding 0 out of 10. However, lucky for us, his channel didn't stay a gaming channel. Instead, his channel started moving into the direction of vlogs and skits. Thus, the first real series on his channel started to come out, and this series was called Overachievers. Basically, it was a series of skits that him and his friends did, and even from watching the very first episode of this, I can already kind of see parallels between this and his Psycho series. And if I were to equate this series to really anything at all, I would probably equate it to a high school level film class. You know the projects they make you do in film class in high school? Yeah, this would probably be a B. But if we're talking about how good it is, I would probably say it's watchable at best. And then of course the game series came about, and then finally the series that we all know today, the Psycho series. A series that went absolutely viral because it portrayed a psychotic father destroying his son's items, normally of extremely expensive nature, and usually gaming related. And normally the format of these remained largely the same. A seemingly random event causes someone to start recording at the right time. Dad gets angry and verbal argument ensues. Dad gets mad and goes for an expensive item. Begging happens to not destroy item. Hulk smash. Jesse rages and takes off his shirt. Fight happens about recording the incident. And then normally the video ends abruptly. Now if it were just these videos over and over back to back with absolutely nothing connecting them, of course people would start calling it as fake because it's just so systematic. However, for Jesse, this wasn't exactly the case. Because instead of just posting these separately every few days or so, he would instead go ahead and vlog the entire cooldown of after this event occurs, a little bit of tension rising after an event, and then like right as the peak of all these tensions come together, another one of these Psycho series videos come out. And for seemingly that reason alone, this entire series was argued back and forth between people if it was actually real or if it was fake. And I'll be honest, with the vlogs, it was really hard to tell because all the time it was well done. Everything interlaced perfectly. It was just a continuation of storyline after storyline, and they all meshed together to create what I believe will be highly regarded as YouTube's YouTube's greatest soap opera. Everything was well thought out and put together, and people debated if it was real to the very end, where Jesse famously shoots his father, flees the country, and then shocks everyone at the very end that it was all faked, and him and his father finally hug it out, glad that it's all over. The reason why I emphasize this series so much is that this managed to do something that no other YouTuber has ever managed to pull off. He led his audience along for years with people debating, is this real? Is this fake? And finally, we got an answer. And honestly, at this point on YouTube, I don't think that anyone could pull off exactly what Jesse did, especially now that everyone has a heightened awareness of this type of thing since the series has ended. It was truly a legendary series, and no matter what I say about his vlogs and how I don't like the style of them, for this series alone, he pulled it off flawlessly. However, after this series ended and now that everyone was extremely aware of what he's capable of doing, flaws started to poke their way out. And if you want an example of these, look no farther than the behind the scenes series, because it was just executed so poorly and there was so little planning in it that I myself couldn't help but poke holes in all the shit that was going wrong in it. It was honestly just bad. He left open too many loose ends. But now he's doing some kind of spooky Halloween themed kind of series. I don't really get it that much. I haven't been watching him honestly a whole lot lately, but it just seems to be going the road of the behind the scenes.
That's a rational fear. That is a rational fear. Spiderwebs and spiders and snakes. Ghosts?
You scared of ghosts last night?
I was afraid that we were going to get in trouble. Exactly. Afraid of a psychotic person's one thing.
No, it's fine.
No, I'm with you.
You see what I mean about these types of vlogs? There was so much of them just walking in the woods right there where they weren't talking at all. Seriously, I know it might cut into your 10-minute editing time, but please, add more fucking cuts! But seriously, there is so much in these vlogs that we could just do without. Seriously, Jesse, I know that you're trying to get across a story and you're trying to portray a message, but you can try to streamline it at least a little bit. I'm gonna keep it brief for the About Jesse part of the video, because really if you want to learn anything about him, really you're better off just watching all the vlogs and learning about him personally yourself, because really, there's a lot to cover. First things first, he streams quite a bit. He has to be one of the best storytellers of all time. His family has to be one of the best families in the world. I mean, honestly, going along with this series as long as they did, holy shit, my family would never do that. Over the course of the Psycho series, 11 individual gaming devices were destroyed. The local police probably hate them for the number of times people call asking if this stuff actually is real. Also, Jesse is wanted for homicide. If you see this person, make sure you stay away from them and contact your nearest authorities. But with that being said, guys, I think it's about time that we gave Jesse his final rating. So if you are new to this series, we rate channels on the show under 4 different categories. A 9 to 10 gets them a subscribe, a 6 to an 8 gets them a check them out, a 4 to 5 gets them maybe watch one of their videos and make your own opinions, and then a 1 to 3 gets them an avoid at all costs. So ultimately, what score does McJuggerNuggets end up getting? Well, unfortunately for a lot of the fans out there, I am going to have to give McJuggerNuggets a 6 out of 10. Just slightly above average. Keep in mind, I try and look at them as a whole, but I'm also putting in my own personal enjoyment of their content. And even though I personally hold the Psycho series in extremely high regard, even though the father's justification of what he does seems to have the exact same backbone as Leafy's defense on the New Baited podcast.
Because of the violence in video games, isn't it? Cause you to do stuff like this.
I still think the series was extremely well done in the way it was tied together with the vlogs, but his newer content to me, personally, just think is an absolute chore to watch. I can't force myself to go through an entire one of those videos. Really, after the finish of the Psycho series, he seemed to have taken a step back rather than a step forward. And now I'd just like to give a personal message to Jesse if he ever does end up watching this, because I want him to hear this. Now that your Psycho series is done, everyone is on top of their game, looking for mistakes in your content. Especially with the current state of YouTube, people are going to call you out as soon as things go wrong. When doing the next series, you need to sit down and think everything through perfectly. Any flaws, and people will notice them. Like noticing that it's the guy from a video when you're about 300 feet away from them and they're just standing randomly in a parking lot and they managed to magically park right beside you. Yeah, people aren't going to believe that, Jesse. You can do much better. But now it's time to spin the mighty wheel of selection. Never mind, just kidding. We actually have a volunteer for this week, and that person goes by the name of Sive. It's gonna be a pretty short review, but I am going to be crunched on time this Sunday, so yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, and if you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. I would love a new addition to the Snake Army. Be sure to go check out McJuggerNuggets. I have one of his videos playing on screen right now, so all you have to do is click it. It'll send you right to his channel. You can go ahead and watch any of his vlogs. It doesn't really matter what. You probably are going to watch the Psycho series. Let's just be honest here, it's probably what you're going to go straight to. But also, speaking of checking out things, did you see the Lord Bung review? Did you fail to check them out yet? Well, here's another chance right there on screen. All you have to do is click them, send you right to his page. Go check out his animations. They're pretty fucking amazing. I can't highly recommend them enough. Please fucking click them, or I'm gonna have to keep raising my voice. It's fucking hurting at this point. Please just click. Also, if you still haven't, make sure to go follow me on Twitter for updates on future videos, as well as behind the scenes and other random shit that I decide to post there. Anyways, guys, once again, I hope you did enjoy. I will see you on the next video tomorrow. As always, Whiplash signing out.